Hey everybody, Deuce Stevens here, and today I'm going to do a video just to kind of wrap up my adventure process, journey into wet tumbling brass for preparation for reloading, specifically geared towards cowboy action shooting, because that's the bulk of the people that watch my videos. So if you followed me on Facebook, I've kind of chronicled what I've learned, the products I've gotten, whatnot. Today I'm going to kind of wrap that all up in one video. So we'll start out right from the gate saying that I have to thank two guys, Illustrated Man out of Long Island, who's a great friend, and Santa Fe River Stan out of Florida, who's another great friend. Both were guys that I trust and take a lot of recommendations and advice from, and they both wet tumble, so they kind of steered me in the direction that I've gone. And in the process, I've learned a couple things too. So, which one or two of both of them may start incorporating and well into their process. So, right out the gate, guys, I was not a fan of wet tumbling. I thought it was hocus pocus. I thought it was a waste of time. I was very critical of it. Anybody that follows me, talks to me, anything involved with cowboy action shooting knows that I thought it was a complete joke. So I know I'm going to have to eat a little bit of crow here, but that's okay. I'm all right with that because I learned quite a few things, and turns out I love wet tumbling. So now I'm a total wet tumbler fanboy. So there was a couple of things that that were absolute knots in this process for me. One was for my application, which is 99.9% smokeless 38 special loads for cowboy action shooting. I was not going to decap, and I was not going to use stainless steel pins in the tumbling process. It's just something I didn't want to mess with. There's a lot of guys that do it with great success, and they get beautiful results when they do those things. Not for me. My approach here is to keep it simple. Again, this is not end all be all. It's not gospel. It's just what I found that's worked for me, and this is the process that I think I'm going to stick with, and I think I'm going to use for a while. So getting right into the gear. Frankford Arsenal 7-liter Platinum Series tumbler. I got it on Amazon. There's a variety of places to get it if you don't like Amazon. So pretty much every major ammo, firearms retailer, online wholesaler carries this product. So they're all over the place. eBay, you can find them everywhere. I have zero complaints on this machine so far. I can find no fault with it. It actually comes with a pretty good sized pack of stainless pins, if that's your persuasion. Again, it's 7 liters. It comes with your end caps, and it also comes with 2 strainers, which I put one on in the process of when I rinse. Basically, guys, my process is I tumble my brass anywhere from 2 to 3 hours in this. I think I've done 4 batches so far, playing with the different solutions, which I'll get into in a minute. And then I'll put one of these caps on, and I'll do about a 4 or 5 cycle rinse. And then from there it goes into the dryer. There's a couple of different dryers on the market, a few different dryers on the market. I went with the Lyman Cyclone because unlike some other models, the heating element in the fan is on the bottom. Heat rises, so it only kind of made sense to me to put the heating element on the bottom. It does not have a temperature control, but it does have a timer on it, so which is kind of nice. I set it for the max, which is 3 hours. It gets up to about 155 degrees, and I have found zero evidence of any moisture in cases after I've done the process. Again, guys, I'm not decapping. Okay, getting into the additives in the water. This holds just over a gallon water, and I tumble anywhere between 800 and 900 pieces of 38 special in here at a time. I started out wanting to go ultra simple, and I went with the Meguiar's wash and wax. I went with that because I saw a lot of reference to wash and waxes when I was researching this. Most of the time, guys that are using this are also doing a Lemmy Shine or Stratashine additive. I would guess to get more shine out of their brass. I found that I just went straight Meguiar's wash and wax. I found that it did an admirable job of cleaning the brass. Brass came out clean. Some of the real dirty, more aged stuff still had some oxidation on it, but it was clean. After a couple days, it does take on a copperish hue. from what I would assume would be air oxidation. Again, in a pinch, I would definitely use the Meguiar's Wash and Wax. I know that the brass that I have done is going to perform just fine with that. But then my buddy Illustrated Man recommended that I try brass juice. This is a solution specifically designed for tumbling without stainless pins. And basically it's 2 ounces per gallon of water. My first tumbling I did, which was this stuff right here, I put about, because I hold just over a gallon, so I put right around 2.25 ounces of the brass juice in there, and it does an awesome job. Mind-blowing how well it does. I don't know what kind of sorcery they're using, but it also happens to clean the primer pockets with the primers, before decapping, which is really kind of amazing to me. So a lot of guys have commented that the brass juice is expensive. I've got about just under $33 into a liter of this shipped to me. You can use it, their claim is you can use it multiple times, up to 6 washings, I believe it is. You can reuse the same solution, and I did that today on one of my washings today, and it did a fantastic job on the reuse. So conservatively, I did some math. Conservatively, if I use the same solution about 4 times, and factoring in the cost of getting this shipped to me, I'm going to have about 61 cents per cycle into each wash, which I think is, in comparison to everything else we spend money on in this game and to play the game and to shoot, I think that's very reasonable. So this whole process has been really cool for me. Sometimes I get bored. I don't enjoy reloading particularly. It's not therapeutic for me whatsoever. I've reloaded for cowboy action shooting for going on 23 years. I loaded commercially for 5 years for a living. It's not an enjoyable task for me, but I do love shooting, which is why I reload, because it allows me to shoot a whole lot more than if I were to ever buy ammunition. So in short, if you're on the fence about wet washing your brass, I encourage you to give it a shot. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you like. Again, I don't use pins, I don't decap, so it's a very simple process for me. And much like many other things we do in the game of cowboy action shooting, you can definitely overthink this process. So for me, I'm all about performance. I wanted nice clean brass. I wanted stuff that was gonna make my dies last longer. All the reasons that we want clean brass. It's not gonna make me shoot better or faster. Okay, so I will say that. But one benefit of this, one of the top benefits for me, is that it is gonna allow me to police my brass a little bit better. There were times when I was a dry tumbler, I would get an occasional pebble or some other kind of range garbage that would not make it out of the cases in that process. And occasionally, when I was loading my own ammo, I would break a decapping pin. So, obviously when I was loading commercial, I was loading all brand new brass or once fired fully processed brass, so I never ran into that. But on my own stuff, I would run into some problems, not performance-wise, but actually making the ammo, where I'd bust a decapping pin, or get a case stuck in have a used 22 case in the casing, something like that, and just make a mess out of my decapping pin, which again slows down the process of something that I already don't enjoy that much. So this is going to allow me to police my brass a little bit better, and overall it's been a really good, enjoyable experience. I can highly recommend both of these products, as well as the brass juice. Cannot recommend that enough. Nobody's paying me to endorse these products, so total between the tumbler, the dryer, and the brass juice, I've got right around a $300 investment in this project, which has been well worth it to me. I enjoy handling the clean cases. I really enjoy not having any dust in my area anymore. or trying to figure out an outdoor space, private outdoor space where I separate my brass from the dry media. So I'm gonna stick with this wet tumbling thing, and I hope that this encourages somebody to try it out. Again, I encourage you to keep it simple. Don't be afraid of it. It's been a really good experience. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took something away from it, and thanks for watching.